All right, so...
Oh, wait, by the way, sorry.
It's okay.
Should I look at you or at the camera? Or?
Yeah, you just look right over towards me. Yeah, that's good.
You,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or the camera, whatever you want. So whatever you're most comfortable with, because I'm not a real professional at this. Just mainly to get the message out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm here with Rebekah Bonilla, a friend of mine that I met not too long ago, but I'm in Tucson doing some work here with a power company, and had a chance to spend some time with Rebekah, who happens to be a Ninja Warrior, which is super cool. Yeah. And we're actually kind of breaking the rules right now because we didn't eat here. Looks like a nice restaurant. We'll give it props, but we actually
The lighting is really good.
Yeah, it's quiet here. And the restaurant we were at was noisy, so we couldn't do a video blog over there. So we may be breaking some rules, but we're not trying to be bad. So we were talking, though, about failure. And I just thought it'd be good to maybe share a couple of thoughts from a Ninja Warrior perspective, right? What about failure? What do you think about failure?
Yeah. So failure is a super important part of success. And, if you watched American Ninja Warrior, you'll see that they pretty much plan for the competitors to fail, because when you mess up on an obstacle, you fall into the water. So they create an environment that's safe for failure. And it would be so cool if people did that more often. Like, instead of being like, we can't fail, so we're not even going to plan for it, just be like, more like, no, failure is natural, it's normal, it's healthy, and it's a part of the journey to success. And there's so many aspects of failure that are helpful and beneficial.
So how would you say failure helps you?
Well, I see a couple different standpoints. One aspect is just from a character standpoint. Failure helps us be humble, and failure helps us to be compassionate. Failure helps us to relate better to more people, And then from another standpoint, just practically and technically, we learn different nuances about situations and concepts when we fail. I've done obstacles, and I'd be like, oh man, I should have generated momentum with a swing in this way instead of how I did, or I should have started with my other hand instead of this hand. And you kind of gain a deeper understanding of the intricacies of a situation after experiencing a failure, and then you can adapt and you're better prepared for next time. So it's super important for growing and learning.
So when you're out there competing, do you feel like you have to do much adaptation, or is it just kind of like tackle the next obstacle and move on, or do you feel like you have to actually adapt sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. Adaptation is so important as a ninja. I always strategize and analyze obstacles before I get on them, and I like to have a plan of attack of what I think would be the most efficient way to approach it. But once you get on there, sometimes there's things that take you a little by surprise, and they don't let us on the obstacles beforehand. So I don't get to
you don't get to practice on any of those obstacles.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm under
my
spotlight
word.
in the middle of the night. Being filmed.
Hundreds of thousands of people watching on TV, and a bunch of people there, and film crews, and
it's my first time on that course.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of pressure, and but like I said, I train the best I can with as many obstacles as I can, and the idea is that the skills that I learned from my training will hopefully be transferable into what I'm going to be doing on the course.
Nice. And what's interesting is you said you make a plan and then you go after it, and then you have to adapt pretty quickly once you go onto it. And we talk about that in the workplace with what we call black line, blue line. So the black line is like this plan, and then the blue line is like this blue line that goes all over the place when we show it on a presentation, because the blue line's reality. So you got to have a plan, right? You just don't go and not think about it. But then once you actually start trying to execute the plan, you have to adapt and figure it out.
Right. And
cool.
Or if you do something that wasn't the best choice, and then you have to adapt based on what you already did,
right.
that maybe you shouldn't have done.
Yeah,
That's happened to me before too. And I've taken some face plants on some obstacle courses, and you still make the best of it. Then you have to do what's best from where you are at that moment, which is different than what it would have been a few moments before.
Had you made a different decision, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. Well, so thank you very much. This was a great video blog. People are going to enjoy it because it's a different like you're from a different world than the world of like manufacturing and power company, all these people that we spend so much time talking to. So I thought it would be really cool to capture your thoughts about failure and adaptation from a very competitive and a very fun sport to watch. And we all in our hearts think that we could be a Ninja Warrior, but there's only a few of you that actually can. So it's good to watch it. We'll watch for you next season. You're going to be on next season? Nice.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rebekah.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes.